Okay.
Let's wait for some folks to come back. Sorry, folks, the stream crashed. This happened last week too. OBS has a really bad relationship with Discord. Occasionally, the audio and the video capture will crap out, and trying to adjust it will essentially destroy everything. But rather than trying to retread ground, long story short, Mary and I met after the pandemic. We met at a drink and draw where we met some other great cartoonist friends like Vince from Crime Guys. And now we're here. We're here after the launch of your new book, You and Me on Repeat, which I did stream the review I did for you here on last week. So I think it just kind of felt like this is part of your marketing world tour. And I'm happy to be a stop for to have you on and talk about your career, talk about how you got into art, and also do it while drawing along with you to a mystery theme. So before we get into the meat of our interview, would you like to hear what the mystery theme is?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah? Okay.
I would say on the Twitch stream, it looks like it's black to me. Am I?
I'm looking at it live right now. You might have to reset. So if you go to, if you.
Okay, I'm good now. I see it now.
All right, excellent. And then folks can hear you and see us. All right, folks. The theme for tonight's show. This is one I picked specifically for Mary. And Mary, I'm gonna give it to you. You pretty much guessed it. Folks, the theme for tonight is Pokemon. Let's give it up. Mary, you shared with me, actually you shared in your last interview at Comics Experience that the Pokemon manga was actually one of your first favorites. Is that correct?
Yeah, wow. The Pokemon manga, I remember specifically there were two kinds of manga, like I was saying at that. There was the one that was Pokemon Adventures, which was more based after the game, and then there was the other one that was more based after the show. And the one that was more based after the show was drawn by like this artist who I think was actually like mostly known for his like erotica.
Oh, really?
So, like, the way that he drew Misty was insanely sexy.
And this guy knew that these were kids, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she that was not a child.
Okay.
I mean, he drew her like a full-grown adult.
Okay. Yeah, that little sus. But how did you first get into reading those books?
I think I really liked Pokemon the game. That was actually the very first game that I really ever played, because my parents, we didn't really have game consoles growing up.
Yeah.
We didn't have game consoles, but we did have whatever we could buy for ourselves.
Yeah.
So the first thing I could purchase with my own money was a Game Boy.
Okay.
And I got it off eBay. It was like one of those Game Boys, not like the cute ones that were like the Game Boy Pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this one. Oh man, look at how cute this little Game Boy is. Everybody loves it. It wasn't it was like one of these big honkers.
Was it the Game Boy Color, or was it the original Game Boy where it was like a beige brick?
It was the original Game Boy, but it was the version. They had like a clear version.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that? They had
yeah.
They had
a transparent
version.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I do think like it wasn't probably like first gen. I would guess that like the and there was like right over here, it was almost like it was releasing gas out of here because it was so big and getting way too overheated. But yeah, so all of my friends, so many people at school were playing Pokemon, and I was like, what's the deal with this?
Yeah.
So I got Pokemon Red and my used Game Boy, and I played that for hours and hours on it. Oh my god.
Yeah, I
definitely
am in the same boat of not really having consoles having grown up. Like, I was the youngest of 4, and so my siblings would have consoles that they would want to keep playing on. But I often fell behind a lot of the trends because of that, and so my introduction to Pokemon was only the cartoon. And I think the biggest hype was when Pokemon 2000 was coming out. And I didn't have Pokemon cards that I got on my own. I think Pokemon cards, I got them from like a church like fundraiser. There was like I remember there was like a what is it, like ball toss game where you got to knock over some bottles. And my dad paid like $1 for the ticket. And I knocked over the bottles and they said, all right, kid, pick up one Pokemon card. And because like it's just cardboard, my dad doesn't know like, oh, they sell them in packs and they trade them this and that. My dad's like, what do you mean, like one piece of cardboard for $1? Like, and he just told me like without the attendant looking, he said, just grab a couple more, just grab a handful. And those were my first Pokemon cards, and that was my introduction to Pokemon. Was stealing. Was stealing. Yeah. This is a ripoff.
We can get our money's worth.
Exactly. And so yeah, I think. I never got exposed to manga early on, but you said so after you started playing the game is when you got your interest, and then did you find the manga before or after that?
I think I found the manga after I was like very into the games and very into because I did watch the anime like crazy too. Oh man, I loved the anime. I also I definitely was like writing fan fiction about it too online.
About like the characters, like so like Ash and did you do Ash X Misty?
I did write one or two like Ash Misty fics because they were very popular. That was called palette shipping. There were all these very specific names for relationships that you could write about in Pokemon.
Is it because Misty was from Pallet Town, or?
Well, I think Misty is not from Pallet Town. Isn't she from wherever that gym, the water gym?
You'd know better than me. Yeah.
Oh God, what is it called? I'm like totally. It's not Viridian City, is it?
You would know much better than I do. Cerulean City, according to our resident expert Gabe. Wait, so what did Pallet Town shipping mean?
That pallet shipping was oh no, I was wrong. Pallet shipping was Gary Oak and Ash. So his rival, because they're both from Pallet.
Of course it is. What else?
I cannot remember what the Ash and Misty one was, because mostly I didn't subscribe to that ship, because I mostly wrote about so in Pokemon when the very last battles are with the Elite Four.
Yeah.
So I mostly wrote fan fiction about those characters because they were interesting.
I see. There's more subtlety for you.
Right, and they really don't have that much story baked in, so you could kind of write whatever you wanted,
Yeah. That's great. I never would have thought this conversation was gonna go into Pokemon fan fiction, but so was this kind of where? Do you think this is where your interest in being a writer, even before comics, an interest in writing developed, was through fan fiction?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I feel like fiction was kind of like training wheels.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm drawing so many Pokemon from memory. Pidgey was it had no, I'm gonna draw Pidgeotto.
Go for it. We're getting warmed up for what the first challenge is gonna be, so don't worry. But basically, how did you feel like writing fan fiction is translated into the way you write as an adult now?
That's a good question. It's a lot different because fan fiction, especially the fan fiction I was doing, you would post a new chapter every week, so it's almost more like a webcomic model where it's serialized. But the sort of stuff that I do now is all in one go, you know? But I do think it prepared insofar as that I could try things out with different tropes and everything. I never participated in the community that strongly. I feel like for me, I always had this sense that like my fan fiction and online life was like sort of just a holding place until I found real friends.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Which is
mean,
like, I mean, online friends can be real friends. Like
yeah,
you have online
exactly.
friends
Yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
then real friends.
You can find you can definitely find community with like-minded people, and use that as your training wheels to essentially learn how to talk to actual folks. Like I get that.
Totally. And back then, I don't know, it was like finding people online just wasn't as normal,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask you what one of those stories the general synopsis was?
Oh man.
Can you
it was a
remember?
lot of, like, it was a lot of like we are so I think one was like there was a lot of like, oh, we have to like share a bed together and there was
Classic.
a lot of like
Classic.
I really love like dark storylines, so I'd write like a lot of like, you know, I was growing up in the 90s, and to add depth to a female character, she like had to be raped, you know? So it was a lot of that kind of like stuff, even though like that was not something I was experiencing in my
No,
life
but I imagine were you in junior high or high school at this point?
I probably did it from late elementary, so maybe like 5th grade.
Oh wow.
Into like maybe early 8th grade. Around 8th grade, I went on this like Washington D.C. trip, and I was like, finally, I have real friends.
Yeah,
I sort of like left the internet.
I would say like I think that age, at least for me, was closer to junior high, where I felt like in order for my work to be more serious, and as serious as like a junior high middle schooler can understand the world, it felt like it had to be like fucking life or death. And like the lack of like, of course I don't expect a teenager to understand subtlety, but it is a little funny looking back at old work and just being like, I remember like I used to write poems, and I wrote a poem about anorexia without having ever experienced anorexia. I'm just like, this is a topic that needs to be talked about now. And it's just like, dude, what, like fucking learn to live a bit.
You know what? I admire the gumption.
Yeah.
Just going in and being like, you know what? I have things to say about this thing I have not experienced.
Gosh, I think I mean we've seen professionals at our level or even more experience in the comics industry definitely writing about things that they don't know anything about. So maybe that stuff doesn't really go away.
100%, yeah. Man, I cannot remember what Blastoise looks like.
I can't, so that's why I drew him backwards, like from the back. I think
the shell is easy to remember.
Yeah.
When I draw Pikachu, I usually like to draw him like really chubby.
Yeah.
Like, and these big eyes with the little.
Oh, because his eyes are kind of beady because he's a little mouse. I never thought he was a mouse. I thought he was a rabbit.
I thought he was an electric rat. What? That was the Pokedex entry, wasn't it? It was like electric rat. I think also there is an animal called a pika. They live in like Yosemite. They like live in the mountains and stuff.
Like as a rat or as a mouse?
They're like some sort of rodent. I don't know if they're even in the same family as like rats and mice though.
Yeah.
They're cute though. My boss did like a children's book about them.
Oh, about rats.
Which is cool about them.
That's cute. Before I dive into more questions about how your career developed after your post fanfiction career, I do want to start the challenge off, and then we can continue the conversation from there. But Mary, I want you to take a look at your screen.
Okay.
We're gonna be let's see if I get this to work, because this is also new, and I hope it doesn't crash out the freaking app. But we're gonna play a game I hope you enjoy called And Mary, who's that Pokemon? And if you can draw them for me, from memory.
Oh, this is one of those. Oh, this is like one of those. This is legendary from. It's Rayquaza. I think it is.
Do you remember
It's
what
like
Rayquaza looks like?
Kind of. It's like a green dragon.
Okay.
Like it's got like probably like an insane brow, right? And it's gonna spiral. And it flies. I don't know. I can't remember what these little things are. That
I think it's his wings, because I think this Pokemon was supposed to be inspired by like a Quetzal like snake, a Quetzal snake.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because that's a winged serpent, right?
A winged serpent. Okay, cool.
But I can't remember if like because Pokemon, they all have like the same 5 eye shapes, and that defines.
They do. It's like this like square thing, you know, or like a beady eye.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference in the design. I don't know, because isn't Rayquaza kind of like a. He's not a robot, is he? He like.
No. I think like maybe he defeats a robot in the game or something. I think he does look like a winged serpent though. I always assumed that he was like oh gosh, what is it called? Like, you know, just like an Eastern dragon. Looks like he has some sort of like
claws.
Gushers.
Does it
right here looks like he's like bursting through a Gushers fruit loop. I'm just thinking about Gushers lately because I just got a huge thing of Gushers.
Oh, excellent!
More carded. Yeah, it's real good.
I'm
normally not into like that, but
I that was a snack I always wanted as a kid, and I thought if I was an adult I'd buy so much of the stuff that I wanted as a kid, and then I guess I never did. I'm a big fan of cookies, which is the one habit that I haven't been able to break since I was a child. And
say, if I buy any sweets, I'm just gonna eat it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
Which I would have loved to do as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, oh man, am I gonna be able to like stomach that hangover?
Yes, exactly. I think that's the problem now. Is as much as we'd like to think we have that agency now because we're adults, yeah, it doesn't work out the same. I definitely have limited my cookie consumption since turning 30. And for the better, I'd say for the better. So does he have arms? Hold on, he has arms?
I don't know. I'm like just going off the silhouette at this point. So there is
because what's going on in the middle?
I don't know. I know the dragon emoji is holding like a jewel, like the like iPhone dragon emoji holds a jewel. So I think you are closer to what it actually looks like.
It looks like to me a dragon with like jewelry on, and maybe.
I think it has like scale plates. Oh my god, if my friend Chris Russo were watching this, he would be so embarrassed about me right now. He's like so
big Pokemon fan.
Pokemon. Yeah, big Pokemon fan. I mean, and I'm a Pokemon fan too. It's just like they have so many legendaries now, and some of them are just like men in the clouds.
I'll tell you also for this challenge, I only limited it to the first 3 generations, just because there are.
I appreciate.
What is it?
That.
There are. I have it here. One sec. Oh, where's the thing? Pokemon. There are 9 generations, and there's no way we're gonna know.
Yeah, I did play Violet, which is the most recent generation. Well, actually, I don't know, because I played it when I finished my book, but that was like the end of 2023. For all I know, they have a totally different game out now.
Was that your reward for finishing your book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you finish a book, what do you do? What's your ritual?
Well, right now, since I'm trying to work on book pitches, I'm not getting a Switch 2 until I get something turned in. which
so that's
yeah,
the lure.
that's
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
feel that.
Yeah, when I was Breath of the Wild came out when I was graduating college, and during our finals thesis, I hid it away in a lockbox until I was done. Cause I know myself. I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way too, but like when you start a game, like how are you supposed to put it down? Like you can't put it down until you're finished with it.
Yeah, no, I will say for Pokemon Violet, I didn't completely finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the repetition of these games kind of grinds on me now that I'm older. I totally loved
Yeah.
it as a kid.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's so many things in adult life that are grinding, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
That
do
you
I
get
gotta
enough
do?
of it already.
Exactly.
I definitely know that's the reason that I didn't latch onto those games, the Pokemon games, just because same reason I didn't latch onto Final Fantasy, because the turn-based it wasn't my speed for games. So
Final Fantasy also just seems so freaking long.
yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, I when I play a game, I kind of want to, not necessarily, I do kind of try to speed run it. Like I like to play a game efficiently, because I like to collect everything, and I just know how much time video games take away from me. Like as an adult, getting back to the question about like what my process is when trying to do work and maybe balance video games, I'm definitely much more responsible about it now. Which I'm glad, because I one of the first lies I told Catherine was, oh, I'm not a big video game kind of person, and just because I wanted to come off as normal, like I didn't want to scare her off.
Just lure her in.
Yeah. And then she saw me like speed run through a Mario game, and she's like, oh, there's something more to this. And so I couldn't hide it.
Yeah. Actually, you might be lying to me.
Yeah. But do you feel like you can control yourself around video games when it comes to work? I feel like you have a really good work ethic. Because you
honestly,
go for it.
that is the one thing that I never super got into. I mean, I got into Pokemon, but that's like the only video game that I found like real. I guess I was just remembering this recently. I was really into like Neverwinter Nights for a second.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh my god, it was this kind of like point and click thing back in Jesus. God, I think it must have been when I was in middle school, so like 2001 or something. Yeah. And
It's like a PC game?
yeah, it was a PC game.
Okay.
All of the people in the forums I was in like did PC games, and I wanted to fit in and stuff, but I don't know if it was worth it.
So you feel like it never really intrudes on your concentration?
No, definitely.
Yeah, that's great. That's such a boon. Because I want to be playing video games all the time. I think that it's also because I had struggle with a lot of focus, especially when it comes to like sitting still. Like that's why I like cinema never was the big well of inspiration for me. Prose was never the big well of inspiration for me. It was always video games and comics that for me were able to be played at my pace and to keep my attention. Right. And I think that's why it's still such a big part for me. And I imagine for you, like, you know, even though Pokemon inspired you to write fan fiction, where do you draw a lot of that inspiration from when it comes to your stories? Do you feel yourself you're more of a cinephile? Do you feel yourself more of a bookworm? What do you draw from the most?
I'm definitely a book person, I would say. Yeah, definitely a book person. I studied at school English and American literature, so that was sort of my major for undergrad. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I got a lot of points of reference.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Thomas Pynchon and stuff like that. I was super into him. Who else was I into? I have no idea what I'm doing with the color on this.
No, do you want to before we continue? Do you want to let's take a look at how close we got and move on to the next one.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see. I think you are probably a lot closer.
Do you remember how to spell Rayquaza?
It's Rayquaza.
There we go. Close, I think. Yeah.
Oh my
Damn. I wish it stuck. It stuck to the last image. I guess we're moving on to the next one.
Okay.
But tell me.
I think you did a good job designing ours.
I think we had I think we had fun with it. I like that yours has arms.
Yeah, of course.
How else would it hold it? Yeah, exactly. How else is it gonna punch that robot that we think that it fights?
I know what this one is. This one's Persian.
Yes. Yeah, this one I recognize. But let's see how close we get it.
Yeah, this one. So it's kind of like a cougar, but it's mean. It's like it does.
It's stuck up. It's stuck up.
The Meowth has the golden coin, but when it evolves Persian, it has like a ruby or something. Right?
Oh, it doesn't have a golden coin. Oh, okay. Okay. It's fancy like that.
Yeah, it's fancy like that.
I wanted to ask you more about so were you drawn to certain genres or certain periods of literature?
I really liked postmodern stuff. I think I was in high school. I was very into Don DeLillo's White Noise.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever read that.
No. Do you mind giving just a quick little summary of what it is? What's it about?
I honestly could not even tell you what it's about anymore. I had read all of these like books in high school that were like considered like difficult adult books,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think I wanted to read them because I was curious about them, but thinking back on it, I really kind of wanted to read them because I wanted people to be impressed with me.
Interesting. Yeah.
So were they? I mean, I do remember enjoying them, and they did make me like think about things deeply. But I feel like if I had connected with them as deeply as I wanted to, I would remember them better.
Right.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't resonating with you in a deeper level other than just knowing that they were known to be good books. So you didn't draw from those books at all.
No, I don't think so. I feel like a lot of my artistic sensibility and like narrative sensibility comes more from, at this point, like when I was at CCS, we learned about like the 3-act structure.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, this is what I'm gonna have to use to make more coherent plots,
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I think like some of my influence is definitely like I don't want to say the Golden Compass I really loved as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like deep YA books I was very into. I love the Golden Compass, and like the whole his Dark Materials trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I was very obsessed with that. But I also love short stories too. If you can have a great story that's self-contained, man, you're cooking with gas.
Yeah. Why do you feel like that resonates more with you than if you were doing such a big like lore expanding novel?
I just can't keep things straight to do like a big lore expanding novel, to be frank.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so like when people are like, oh yeah, before I write a book I like figure out like the land it's in and the mythology, and I'm just like that's great and everything, but I just want to get in there and write the characters.
Yeah, it is a quite, and I've fallen for this trap before too. Right, lore building, I will concede that I will concede that it is writing, but it is not writing. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's not gonna push the needle. yeah,
I feel like people use it as a means of procrastinating.
I think so.
Honestly.
That's how
Like, some
I
people
use
think-
it. That's exactly how I use it, is for procrastinating.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, I have like this whole amazing story and world built out," and I'm like, "Well, that's great, but it doesn't mean anything unless, you know, unless you put it on the paper and start
Right.
working on it."
Right.
And I guess that is sort of like the same philosophy that probably keeps me like constantly working. Is just like, I mean, and that's a double-edged sword, right? Like there are definitely times where I'm like, man, I should like slow down and maybe develop this a little more. But I don't know, just gotta always be on that grind set, baby.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Like here's the thing though. I also do believe that when you move on to your next project, you're closer to more of the things that you actually want to write. You're closer to moving on to the next thing that is more truer to you. And the only way you really get to it is by putting out the stuff that works or the stuff that doesn't work. Rather than trying to think that like, oh, if I just sat on it longer, I would have cried. Because that's the trap. The trap is it's kind of what you're standing in front of you're standing in front of your own way. Is if I had just like pondered it more. And so that's why I don't think the world building is necessary to flesh out your writing as much as just writing and putting out stuff.
Right, yeah, because I think people are like building these elaborate worlds when they just need to be putting in the hours to like get the shit
Right.
out of your system. Because
Right.
the first few things you write are going to be bad.
Right.
And there's like no way around that.
Somebody it was Dan Harmon who said what was it, is when you put yourself down saying I'm not a good writer, I'm a bad writer, he basically says prove that you're a bad writer. And what he's kind of getting at is like, write all the shit, write all the garbage, prove yourself that like you're a bad writer, and then that kind of fleshes you out, because it's kind of like you either start identifying where you're messing up or what isn't working, but really it's not because you didn't do enough prep work, it's because you just didn't write. And that's something I'm trying to learn now that I'm trying to focus more on the writing process, and essentially learning that one thing is like active journaling, basically just kind of spontaneous. I think we talked about this before the stream, spontaneous writing, just kind of finding ways to like turn your daydreams and everyday thoughts into something. Even if it's not going to be a post-it or turn into a comic, you're at least actively writing and finding your voice, finding out kind of the stuff that you actually want to talk about. But yeah, world building is a trap.
Are you doing like what are they called, morning pages and stuff like that?
I'm not. What does that entail?
Well, it's like an artist way thing where I found them very helpful when I had just finished Get Over It, and I was like just getting into whatever I was going to work on next. And basically the thought is that you just sit down every morning, and for however many uninterrupted I think for maybe a half hour, you just write.
Yeah.
You just write as much as you can write, whatever comes into your mind.
Yeah.
And honestly, God, I thought it was an extremely helpful exercise.
Yeah, I might be doing that unintentionally, because the first thing I do in the morning is reflect on what I did the day prior, and that's kind of the way that I've been doing it. I've been finding that kind of writing coming out more when I'm eating lunch or dinner, because I'm trying to keep off my phone during that time, because I'm also realizing like I get more frustrated trying to balance a fork in my hand and a phone in the other hand, and I just realize you just have to take a break from the screens, and it's easier said than done. I still have my problems, but
it's so challenging.
Yeah.
Just because, like, especially when your job is on a screen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Exactly. But basically trying to find times where you can just think about, sit with your thoughts and then jot them down. That's just another way of like, putting the shit out, like just let it all out, like let it happen. And then I think you do become a better writer for it. The last thing I wanted to bring up on that point about world building, a buddy of mine who studied writing and I have been asking for advice. He was basically talking about how a lot of fantasy writers focus too much about like George R.R. Martin focusing too much about like, the wall, like basically talking about this thing that you don't see until much later in the book, but it doesn't really, all it does is entice and not necessarily add nutrition to the story. And
that's like so much of Game of Thrones. That man just needs to finish that book series.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think that's what we're identifying is that like, it doesn't add to it. I think with any case, like when it comes to creating art, is, figure out what works for you, bring in some of the bad habits if you feel like it does help, but like figure out how to actually like put down the words first. And that's where I'm at. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, do we ever really move on from that in some ways? Like every time we start a project anew, it's just like, oof, humbling,
Yeah, that's a
wow, that is a good vision, dude.
Thank you. I definitely I'm leaning on that silhouette, but I love that you gave your Persian more of like a action to do. Do you want to look at the actual art?
Let's look at what Persian looks like.
All right. Do you know how to spell? I think it's just Persian, right?
Yeah, I think it's just Persian.
There we go. What a beautiful cat. All right, this next one.
Oh my gosh. This is either Kangaskhan or one of the final Nidoran evolutions.
I categorize this Pokemon in like the generic, like, because these were like the first Pokemon, like these shapes, where it's just like a lump of clay.
This could also be Rhydon.
Okay, we're gonna have to figure that out.
It might be. I just kind of want to draw Kangaskhan, so I might just draw Kangaskhan.
Go for it. The next question I want to ask you, Mary, is, so we talked about you getting into writing, some of the first comics. We'll probably get into more of your favorite comics, or maybe this is where we get into it. But so how do you go from writing to working in a visual medium, like taking those words and actually like why did you choose comics in the first place?
I think I was always drawing comics because in undergrad, actually, so when I moved to New York, it took me a while to find like my friend group, because like moving to a new place, I was just from the Midwest and like experiencing insane culture shock. But yeah, so here I'm like looking at, I feel like this is definitely Kangaskhan. So I'm gonna draw
it's kangaroo shape. So I think so, right?
Right? Yeah, totally. Oh man, I never even put together that Kangaskhan has like kangaroo in it, which of course it does.
Because he has a little pouch, doesn't he?
He has a little pouch. Why did I never put that together?
You were thinking too much of like, oh, he looks like a warlord. Of course, Genghis Khan.
Yes, totally. Oh man. Yeah, so I was in undergrad, I was definitely drawing comics. I actually had a comic first called I Sleep in Your Hat, Tom Waits Rick.
Oh wow. I love Tom Waits.
Yeah, me too. I actually have been revisiting him lately because I keep like hearing him on shows that I'm listening to, and I'm like, oh shit, I love this music.
He's a really great creative as well. I quoted him last stream, and we gotta talk about it because he made one of my favorite musicals. But I think that's a you and me conversation.
Do you know that he actually lives in Sebastopol?
He's from California. He's from Whittier. I thought this dude was like, I thought he was like some traveling clown from like Louisiana or something. No, he's just a California guy.
Yeah, I think he just realized that he could make that croaky, like,
Yeah.
I am the oldest man on earth
Yeah.
singing blues voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, let me just lean into this.
Yeah, no, I love him.
So that first one was called I Sleep in Your Hat after the Tom Waits lyric. It was on Webcomics Nation. Do you remember that platform?
No.
Oh man.
Is this like an early
so-
like an early webtoons?
Very well no, it was yeah, I guess it was kind of webtoons. It was more like a web ring. It had more flavors of like Keen Spot, I want to say, because like that was the last iteration. Oh man, I'm gonna draw this tiny little baby. Yeah, so Webcomics Nation, that was actually how I met. Do you know Magnolia Pearl or Magnolia Sidell?
No.
They're
another cartoonist?
Yes, called The Golden Boar. And that's actually how I met them, because they too had a comic on Webcomics Nation. And we were sort of like, you know, sister sites at the time. But then they like actually kept being into comics, whereas at some point I got into this band. I like met all these people. Again, it was almost like an echo of middle school. I like met people in real life finally to hang out with, and then I just abandoned my webcomic basically. And then a few years later, when I had my first job, I kind of tried to, and I was about 23 at this time, I tried to kind of like revive it, but this time I called it 12 Steps from Superman, because it was about an alcoholic guy who gets like superpowers.
That's pretty good.
And just like,
that's a good premise.
and there's like that Will Smith movie that came out where he was something similar.
Oh, Hancock. Oh, that sucks.
Hancock, and I was like, oh shit, they got to it before me.
That's the worst feeling ever though. That's that.
I know, especially like a Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so then I worked on that a little bit.
This was before school or during school?
This was after school.
Okay.
I was at this point working in digital production at Penguin Random House.
Okay.
So I was still living in New York City, but I was, you know, working a full-time job. And then at that point, I got super into like riding my bike around the city. So then I got really into the bike community of New York City. But then I got into a pretty major bike accident.
Oh.
How are these legs made?
They're stumps. Go for stumps.
Yeah, they're interesting little stumps. I like them though.
But sorry,
it's actually easier.
So I didn't know that's part of your origin story. So you got into this accident.
I got into this crazy accident. I was doing this long ride because I was part of this women's bike thing in New York called We Ride NYC. And we were doing this thing where we were riding to the Women's Bike Summit in DC from New York City.
Oh wow.
It was really cool. We got like sponsors, we got all this cool gear. But on one leg of the trip, I was going down this hill with a few other bikers, and there was just some gravel, and I hit the gravel. Ate shit, like so bad they called an ambulance. I had to get like a CAT scan. And jeez. Like, I'm saying these things and that these things happen, and I don't remember they happened because I was very concussed.
Oh Lord.
Like, the first thing I remember is I do sort of remember being lifted into the ambulance, and then I sort of remember being in the hospital and like looking at my phone, but otherwise like things start to come back into view once we were like on a van back to New York City.
Jeez.
So when you're concussed, you can't look at a screen. Well, they encourage you not to look at a screen, which I'm sure like a lot of people who are very addicted to screens, it's like almost impossible. But I found it kind of a nice excuse, like not to.
Yeah.
And so I just started working on a comic because I was just working on the page. And so I drew my first comic, or not my first comic, obviously, at this point. I drew, I don't know, it felt like my first comic of this particular era, and it was called Mensch. It was about graffiti writer and his Hasidic landlord's son. And the landlord's son really wants to like woo this girl so he can have, like, she agrees to be in an arranged marriage with him. And the way that he wants to do that is he wants to put her name in like a really nice tag on the Williamsburg Bridge.
Wow.
And he discovers that this like the graffiti writer who he's like behind on his rent because he's taking care of his sister after their mom died, etc., etc. The landlord's son is like, you know, if you teach me how to write, I will, you know, make sure that my dad isn't on your ass and etc.
Wow, what a story!
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bromance. It kind of goes from there. Yeah, they bond, things happen, etc.
And this is something you wrote while you were concussed?
It was something that I've been thinking about for a while because, like, yeah, I don't know, like when you're living in Brooklyn, you're living adjacent to the Hasidim, and like they were my landlords most of the time. And you know, they're not bad people. Some, you know, they're just like any group of people. Every group of people have some people who suck. You know?
And you're basically taking active inspiration from the world around you, and essentially,
It was definitely that. It was definitely that. And yeah, so it was. I did finish it. I can send you the website.
I would love to see it. I really want to ask, like, how, like, I get it, like you're pulling inspiration from living in New York, but like in the same way that you wrote You and Me on repeat, and how it reads so well, is like this could be adapted so beautifully to film, or a television series. Like what, like the just the synopsis of Mensch, just like it just already, like, did you already feel like your writing kind of had this like kind of like Hollywood, kind of like television tinge to it? Do you ever recognize that in your work?
You know, I would not say that, actually. I don't know if I would pinpoint where I get my ideas for my work from, but it's nice to hear you say that.
Yeah, I just like
television.
just that as a pitch, Mary, was so fun already. And yeah, but I'd love to see. So you finished this comic when
I did finish the comic. It's on, like, I have a website for it, but I just, you know, most people don't know about it because it's at this point over a decade old, you know?
Now, do you actually, let's wrap up this one before I ask my next question.
Yeah,
Are you in a good spot? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Wow, yours looks so cool.
I think like I'm leaning too much into the silhouette. Like you're bringing such a nice little like touch to it. But we're also gonna get to the second part of our game soon. So let's do one more of these. But do you remember?
Yeah, I feel like you. Sorry.
Do you remember how to spell?
I feel like you're going
this.
Do I remember how to spell Kangaskhan?
Kangas.
Kangaskhan.
No, hold on. Kan.
No.
Kangas.
Kangas. Gas. No.
There it
sorry. Is that it?
Yeah.
Kangaskhan?
Very nice.
Yeah,
Our Kangaskhan's are so much like more docile than the angry-eyed like monster we just saw right now.
I know. I love like how yours has hollow eyes.
Oh, it was meant to be those beady eyes, but I love the hollow eye idea. But here, let me put Kangas. Okay. Con. Okay, this one I think I know. I think it looks like a little lump. So
Is this Shelder?
it could be Shelter, but we're doing generations 1, 2, and 3. So it could be one that was called Cloister, I think. I'm gonna
No, I think Cloister is big because Cloister is the evolution of Shelter.
But where's Shelter's tongue in this silhouette?
You're right, it doesn't have a tongue. Oh, that's such a giveaway.
We're gonna have.
Oh wait, I think this is one of those weird ice Pokemon. Ice is like a second generation element.
It looks icy. Okay, we're gonna have to come up with something for this one.
Yeah, honestly, this one is like, okay, I can just draw kind of whatever I want. Just format the silhouette.
So I guess the next question I wanted to ask was, so you found the way you wanted to marry story and pictures. We talked a bit about how your evolution into writing, going from fan fiction, going into literature. How did you come at it from the art side? So how did you develop the way you draw? Where did you pick up? Talking to other artists on the stream, we all pull from certain influences of artists that we admire. A lot of it becomes sometimes our art style is a failure to imitate the artist that we admire, and then we kind of find something in our own. How did you approach your art?
I think mine was definitely like 100, at least at the beginning, like 100% manga influence.
Yeah.
Like I found old sketchbooks from when I was 12 years old, and I was drawing such like fake Japanese weeaboo stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, let's just give everyone a katana.
Yeah.
Let's have everyone, wear a kimono. Like not knowing how to draw a kimono at all.
Did you have the how to draw manga books?
I didn't have those.
No.
Books. I mostly just copied Rumiko Takahashi. I was so obsessed with her. I feel like she was so like someone to look up to, I'm like, oh, here's like a woman who's like making it, and it made it seem I'm just drawing in patterns on this thing.
No, go for it. I'm gonna draw Cloister. I think it's Cloister. Rumiko Takahashi. What did she draw? Right?
She drew Ranma half. She drew
Okay.
She drew Maison Kyoko. Oyster he's like that black pearl, and he's got like these devious little eyes.
No, that's the clitoris Pokemon. Is that Cloister?
Yeah, that's Cloister.
Oh, I'm drawing a different one.
Oh my god, maybe I'll recognize it if you draw it. Oh, okay. Are you drawing the one that's like the evolution of Claydol? Like it becomes Claydol?
I thought it was a shellfish as well, but I could be wrong. Also, just like making a Pokemon look like a vagina and then also call it Cloister is just like I
know. It's chef's kiss. How did it get through the sentence? I love it. No notes, Cloister.
I'm gonna be so wrong with this one. I have no idea how this is gonna work out, but
I do recognize that Pokemon.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about here.
I know exactly what Pokemon. I could not tell you the name of that. I know it evolves into Claydol though.
All right, should we just reveal it?
Yeah, let's reveal it.
Well, I think I guess I have to put I don't know because what the hell is that? Skip Bloom.
It's like happening-y. This is Rattata. I mean,
Skip Bloom. Oh, this is Rattata. Yeah, this one we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was easy.
We know how to draw a Rattata.
Okay, we'll finish off with this. This is one of my favorites. We'll wrap up with this and we'll do in the next segment. But sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, yeah.
So continuing about your inspiration of how you develop your art style. I know you as a big fan of the artist who does Kitaro. Is that right?
Oh yeah, Shigeru Mizuki.
Yes.
He actually didn't come into the picture until later, though. I feel like definitely like I discovered his work probably at CCS. I think I'd heard about it because like it was always like, even though Kitaro doesn't have a lot of penetration into an American market, there was always like there's this manga artist who like drew a biography of Hitler. And like so I'd heard about him, but I didn't really read his work until I had gone through CCS.
Okay.
And then I was like, whoa, this is so well, no, that's not true, because my coworker, John Van Daren at Penguin Random House, he showed me, this must have been in like, God, 2015. He showed me Nanunba, which is one of his like, it's sort of biography, but he's also like, I can't remember what Whooper's mouth looks like. And I'm
Okay,
like,
that's perfectly fine. Is that book the one where he talks about Tezuka dying early? Was that him?
No, I don't think that's the Nanunba is mostly from his childhood. I see. That is him. I don't know what book that's from, but I love that page of manga.
Yeah, I have that.
Like it needs to be widely.
That's my cover for like Blue Sky, because I don't believe you should be killing yourself as an artist like with overwork.
Oh my God. Louder for the people in the back.
Yeah,
for real.
that's another conversation. But I still want to hear more about kind of like how you found your art style.
Yeah, so it was definitely like inspired by Rumiko Takahashi, drawing a lot of like eyes like this. Actually, I would have killed to draw eyes like this back then. But, you know, when you're a kid and you're just like so fixated on eyes and you kind of like over render them into oblivion.
Yes, yeah, like yeah, just doing the whole like. Well, actually, I feel like now as an older artist, even trying to over render an eye, I think I'm fine now. it's hard to, yeah, but I get what you mean.
But yeah, so I wonder what I would even draw if I tried to over render an eye now. Hard to say.
I mean, if you ever draw a horse, horses have really pretty like eyes, just big ol' eyes that you can just over render like crazy.
Damn. Yeah, but they're always, I feel like everything on a horse is simultaneously both bigger and smaller than you think it is.
just draw from the neck up. You know, anytime you have to draw a horse, make sure they're sticking out of a stable or something.
Yes, 100%. It's got like gills. These are gills, right? I'm like just spitballing.
No, you're good. Do you feel like you and me and Repeat has some of those manga shorthands?
Definitely.
But you also, you know, you I guess I would attribute to like, I feel like Autobio like has to have a certain level of representation in the art so that you can find a way to ground the story into reality. I think like, I mean, like your friend Maya Koba, genderqueer, such a grounded story. The art is so grounded, and so.
Oh my God, your art is so good.
For something like You and Me on Repeat, you have some of those manga shorthands. You use some of the like the action lines, the same kind of like you know, some exaggerated expression, but it's still a pretty grounded art style. And I even going back to Get Over It, like I made this joke when you were doing your interview at Comic Experience, like you took it upon yourself to draw bicycles in your stories. You take it upon yourself to draw a graduation auditorium in a football field. Like that's not easy. That's not easy. Like the comic book, like if I was drawing a freaking Donald Duck comic, the whole thing would be like, oh, or not even a Donald Duck comic, because some of them had really great backgrounds, but like, you know, I've learned about like, okay, abstract the background or remove the background, but because your story, again, it feels so cinematic when you read it, you need these cinematic set pieces. And like, how did you like, I'll do a follow-up question of how do you find the time to do that? But like, how did you get yourself at a point of your artistic ability to be able to draw things like that, to be able to draw more grounded things? Because that's not what anime is about. That's not what manga is about. Like, to be as grounded as possible.
Right. Yeah. I think that, like, well, first of all, I started using Procreate and I had perspective.
That's very helpful.
Yes, I've heard tell that it's also very helpful if you have Clip Studio Paint, but I have not been able to have the time to devote to like learning that program. One day,
Yeah.
every day, I'm like, one day I'm gonna learn.
It's like
Clip Studio
relearning
Paint.
Photoshop, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know how if I have it in me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So you say that
But yeah,
those
so-
those tools help a lot.
those tools 100%
Yeah.
help. And then also, I guess it does kind of go back to what you were saying. Is like, my mind just sort of thinks about these things cinematically, and
Yeah.
I think about it more as, I think about the panel more as a camera.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I love how you're filling in that black on the clay doll, or like the clay doll preview. Oh my god, next to your Wooper, my Wooper looks like a ditto.
Your Wooper is so cute though. It has the little cutesy bubbles. That's lovely. That's a keeper. You got to make a sticker out of that.
Thanks, Josue.
But
Yeah,
I agree with you on like the treating the panel as a camera, because that's exactly like the moment that I started doing that in my books. It changed the way the smoothness of the panel, because you're no longer doing these really jumpy cuts from one scene to the other. Now you're actually pretending that you're moving in and out of a cut. Like to start a panel with a wide shot to set some exposition, and then get into the dialogue at a nice like 3/4, and then like end in a nice punchy close up. Like that's cinema, and you can totally recreate that on the page. So I totally agree with you on that.
And also, a lot of that came back to when I was at CCS. For one semester, I had Meredith Gran.
Oh,
as a
cool.
thesis advisor. I know, it's very cool.
Oh, you should tell
Unfortunately,
Vince
she
about that. He'd be so jealous.
Yeah, yes. Oh, I should. Yeah, unfortunately, she couldn't stick around for the whole project, but she's an independent artist. She's cranking on her own project.
Yeah.
These sparkles, whatever, I did them. But she said that, for any given panel, there should always be one panel where you can see an entire body.
Yeah.
Which I think makes a lot of sense,
I mean, you see that all in manga. I mean, some of the ways they introduce characters is they overlap panels just so you can see the full shape of the character.
Totally.
It's their stage entrance.
Yes, stage entrance, totally. Oh yeah, I love that about manga, is sometimes when I think back to Ranma Half, when Ryoga first shows up, he shows up where he's basically a panel in himself on the left side, and then all the other panels kind of grow off of him.
Yeah, it's so nice. Maybe this is me getting off topic a little bit, but I think a lot from what I've learned from manga paneling is that a lot of it is to be in service of telling the story, and this isn't to shit on like American superhero comics, but it just feels like that genre is so what's the word, formulaic now, that it's hard to, whenever artists decide to go outside of the box, it's great, but I just feel like the reason manga sticks out so much is because it is a little more organic, a little more lively to tell the story.
Absolutely. Like, do you think the American comics industry could have created anything like Chainsaw Man? No.
I'm not familiar, but I hear it's awesome.
Oh my god, Josue, you need to read Chainsaw Man. It's so
Have you seen my
good.
book backlog, Mary? Don't tempt me with a new book.
I'm just turning these whoopers into little Kodamas.
Go for it. I'm gonna finish up my Kangaskhan, and then we're gonna move into the last part of the game tonight. But let me just check in on the chat real quick, making sure that everyone is doing okay. Nobody is saying anything bad. Gang Fight is in the house. What's up, Buff? We were just talking with Mary Shyne, good friend and really talented cartoonist, talking a little bit about how she got into writing, how she got into art, and we're just kind of talking about just the way that you could tell a very cinematic story through a sequential medium like comics. But we're just finishing our Pokemon here before getting into the last part of the segment. Yeah. Mary's been drawing some really cute Pokemon. If you want to show us your landscape of Pokemon that you've drawn so far.
Oh yeah. There we go. So here's my Wooper. Let me group it together. I pre-transformed it. There we go. Bringing it down to size. And then I also have Kangaskhan, Persian, and Rayquaza.
Very cute.
Yeah, let's see all your Pokemon.
So we have, I did a whole spread here. I was trying to draw these Pokemon in the welcome banner, like, the same way that like the very early Pokemon art was just kind of like these really like blobby creatures that had like this halftone coloring. Then we got the Rayquaza here, the Persian. Kangaskhan needs a little work, but it's cute. And then these two, we completely got this one wrong. But that's fine.
Yeah, we had no idea. We weren't even close. I thought it was like a rock Pokemon. It was like a little dollop of a grass Pokemon.
Yeah. But let's finish off Wooper here, which I think is just WOOPR. There we go. And now, Mary, we're going to get into the second half, which, when I was trying to think of a good format for this show, I wanted to do something that was still in the realm of Pokemon, but how do we change it up? And this is a really bad segue. But what if let's just do part 2. We're gonna increase the difficulty a bit. So, folks, the next segment here is 1 second. And now, what Pokemon is that, Mary?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
You shouldn't.
Is that
because I completely randomized these silhouettes for us to figure out what Pokemon these are. We're gonna make up Pokemon for the last half of the show, based off of the silhouettes here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also put up that Spanish version of the Who's That Pokemon. I am curious, Mary, how good is your Spanish?
Oh, the thing is, it's not great. I'm like embarrassed to speak it. I can read it okay.
Yeah.
Speaking it is. Oh, I just need to like be less self-conscious.
It sounded great when I hear it, which is a big surprise. Because I'm curious because one of the reasons is one of your characters, one of the main characters in You and Me on Repeat is Mexican, and there was just a lot of like familiar and warm character to her family that I was really surprised. Because you're not half Mexican, are you? I don't think we've talked about that.
No. I am Irish and Polish.
Yeah.
I gotta say, a lot of the translation, I gotta give credit to my friend Pablo.
Uh-huh.
He translated almost all the Spanish in that book for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So like, when they're watching the telenovela,
Yeah.
like, there's no way I could have translated that. And also, like, Google Translate, like, isn't correct a lot of the time. Like, it just doesn't get the particularities of speaking.
It doesn't get the particularities of speaking, and also oftentimes it'll gear more towards like Castilian Spanish or like European Spanish. And
yeah, like spoon Spanish.
Yes, exactly. And then whenever you try to exactly, and actually that's what they teach in schools too. So basically in California, when you're trying to learn Spanish, you're actually not learning the more colloquial Spanish that you'd more commonly hear.
That your friends are actually speaking. Yeah, like I remember our high school Spanish teacher, he was like this frat bro who had like a Spanish accent, like lisping all of his S's and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do we, in retrospect, I'm like, why was he teaching us Spanish when like literally half of our class speaks Spanish at home?
Yeah.
And it's not Spain Spanish.
Yeah. And so it was really comforting to see how you treated those characters, and also like you made them a very modern Mexican family, because I do think that there is oftentimes the trope of a Mexican family being a little too traditional, and you had parents that taught their kids how to play D&D, and it just kind of it feels so.
Oh my God, yeah.
It feels so much more real, and like it just feels more modern, and it is refreshing. And yeah, so that's why
is like I imagine her as like, she's goth.
Yeah.
She's a goth mom.
Yeah. And so that's why I had a question like did you research how to learn like Spanish for this project? But yeah, you had a collaborator, and that's fantastic, because it is really important to be able to understand contextually these things, and so I admire that a lot, that you made the extra effort in your book. So what can you say in Spanish?
Like
Oops.
Me llamo Mari y me gustan los doguillos.
Close. Perros.
Well, actually, I read that pug is doguillo, or is that wrong?
Oh, I've never heard of that.
You've never heard that word? Okay, maybe it's another one of those.
Doguillo. It could be, or it could just be a cute way of saying doggy. I've never heard of doguillo.
Yeah, I've seen it spelled Doguillo.
But I also don't know like the dog breed names in Spanish, so that could also be a factor.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that's so cute. Doguillo is a cute one. Very good.
I would say like soy de Chicago y soy artista. Gosh, I mean, it's very broken, and I know I shouldn't be embarrassed, because I don't judge people.
Yeah.
People have an accent.
Yeah.
Just listening to them.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying is that, like, I appreciate you like learning. I'll teach you some Spanish now. Actually,
I would really love that. If you could like take me place, if we could just like maybe practice conversational Spanish.
Oh,
together,
of course.
That would be...
I can get you there 80% of the way. So my history with Spanish is I grew up youngest of four. My parents would take my siblings back and forth from Mexico and the United States. Like throughout, like basically they do like elementary school in the United States, and they do junior high in Mexico, or they'll do high school, some years of high school in Mexico. And that's how you learn, is through immersion. And it was really helpful for them. But as soon as I was born, I was the accident. I was not planned. All my siblings are 3 years apart. I am 6 years apart from my middle brother. And so by the time I came along, my parents were like, well, we're already established in the US. Like, we can't keep doing the moving back and forth that we did before. You're staying in the US. Like, that's what it is. So I didn't really know Spanish when I was in elementary school. And then my mom was also trying to, she went to night school to learn English. My dad was born here, so he knew English already. But my mom went to night school, and so she wasn't really speaking Spanish around me. And so I never really learned it until they said it was 6th grade. And 6th grade's a weird time because you're about to go to middle school. The last thing you want to do is shake up your life drastically. And then my parents said, do you want to go to Mexico for a year? And I agreed. Like, they didn't force me or anything. They said, like, do you want to go to school in Mexico for a year? Yeah. And it made a huge difference because one thing, I definitely learned Spanish then because there's no way you're making friends if you're not learning how to speak and communicate about like the things that they like. You also learned like just kind of the kind of stuff that like kids are into in different countries. And it's like kids didn't have Pokemon cards. They had Pogs. Like yeah, like Pogs were such a big thing over there. Like
Pogs were huge, at least in the Chicago area too.
Really? Is it just California missed the Pog memo or something?
I have no idea.
It was wild because like in Mexico, in Mexico, like
where in Mexico you were at?
Jalisco. So if you're familiar where like Guadalajara or Puerto Vallarta, that's Jalisco.
Gotcha.
But essentially, so in Mexico, the snack industry is or used to be quite predatory, in the sense that like now in Mexico, there's a lot of nutritional like every TV show, if you have a commercial, there's gonna be a white text at the bottom that says "Eat healthy" or "Drink water," like public service announcements on all commercials. And now there's very clear like calorie, excess sugar warnings on like snacks. But back then, snacks would come with toys, like any like bag of chips. You'd find little toys and stickers, and like a pack of cookies would have like collectibles. Like I ate so many cookies as a kid, Mary. Like we talked about this. Like you have no idea. And I ate enough cookies that I got this magic 8-ball in the shape of an alien head. Do you know how many cookies you got to eat to get a prize like that?
I'm very impressed. Actually, that sounds awesome. Do you still have like a picture?
I had to find it, but I still have the sticker collection that I needed to collect to get this like magic 8-ball. But essentially, Pogs would come in these snacks, and so all the kids would have Pogs based off of like the latest like kids telenovela or show that everyone loved. And so that's how you learn Spanish, is through immersion. And yeah, anytime you want to practice Spanish, I'm here. I'll only get you there 80% of the way because I didn't learn all of the which words are use feminine or masculine pronouns.
Right.
So that's difficult. But yeah. But here's something I'll teach you. You're gonna say, "Yo soy Mary.
Yo soy Mary.
Vengo a perrear."
Vengo a perrear.
Yeah, which means like I come to fucking party, like I come to dance.
That's what's up. I dig it.
Cool. I think I'm done with mine. How are you doing with yours?
I'm doing okay. I don't know what this Pokemon is, but it has a fish tank inside of it.
It looks like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, it looks more like something from Katamari Damacy.
I love it. You're gonna have to. Oh, go ahead.
I love Dan plays Katamari. I don't
cute.
play it myself. I love to watch him play.
It's a fun game. Do you have a name for your Pokemon?
It's got to be something with fish tank. So maybe Tank House.
I like Tank House. That's a good one. So water steel, water ground. Okay. I gonna call mine. Mine's based off of like it turned into like a shiso leaf on top of like a radish or like a turnip.
Yeah, I was gonna say radish.
So I'm gonna say something like I don't even know how to spell shisho leaf. Shisho dish. No, that's too many shushes. Maybe. Now, what's it? It's called a Japanese radish, right? Or a turnip?
It's a daikon, right?
Daikon. Okay. I was gonna write dykish. I don't know if that's right.
I'm gonna spell it, but I'm gonna spell it house like it's German. Because I feel like every so often Pokemon likes to switch it up.
Yeah. I'm just gonna call it Dyke Leaf. Sometimes Pokemon misses with the name, so Dyke Leaf it is.
Or you can spell it D-A-I-K leaf. Dyke leaf.
There you go. All right. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right. Give 1 second here. Oops.
Oh, I see on Zorbit's perritos. I do sometimes call the dogs perritos.
All right, Mary. And this is the new Pokemon. Can you see it right there on your screen, Mary?
Yes, I have a great idea of what I'm gonna draw.
All right. So, Mary, can you roll your R's?
I can roll my R's. Perrito.
Very nice. Catherine has a hard time with the rolling of the R's.
You know, my mom took a secondary course in Spanish when we were a kid, because she's a nurse, so it's useful for her to know, and she would practice at home. So
yeah,
I think that's how I learned.
That's so nice. I think some of the shit that really boils my blood is aside from a lot of the anti-immigrant sentiment that we're kind of seeing our country just kind of just fall deep into. It's just
yeah, it's insane. What the fuck?
When people
borders aren't real, dude.
When people I've just seen videos of people folks just speaking their native language, and folks just fucking losing their shit about it, as if I don't know, are people paranoid that folks are talking about them in different languages, or I just can't see it other than a beautiful thing. I was at the doctor's office today, and what's really cool is, and I'm sure your mom was familiar with this, but there's translation services. If a patient needs translation, they'll call somebody who works for the hospital, or maybe it's an outsourced department, but they translate the patient's communicate with the doctors. And while I was in the waiting room, or in my doctor's waiting room, I overheard a conversation, a lady was speaking Cantonese, and there was just this really cool interaction of the doctor, translator, and the patient. And I couldn't see that anything else but a super it just felt so Star Trek to me that we live in you feel so unified when you can hear different languages around you. And
100%. Oh my gosh.
I can't get how people feel like it is a fucking imposition on their life.
Also, if you think people are talking about you, why are you so fucking self-centered?
Yes. Yes.
Most people are not thinking about you at all. And that's a good.
Yes. There's a lot of gosh. We're getting into the ranty stage of the stream that I usually
definitely.
Let's do it. Let's do it. But there's this idea of there was these social media videos of oh, when I'm out with my girl, she's just kind of walking happy, distracted on her phone, this and that. But me, I'm the guy. I'm vigilant. I'm always watching the corners for like any attackers, or like I'm here to protect my girl. And I'm like, how fucking sad that you're paranoid, that you live your life that paranoid, that you see that as a good thing, that you are
That's
that you are constantly never in a state of rest. And dude, like that's so
That
terrible.
fucking exhausting to me, but also like get over yourself.
Yeah,
you know.
there's exactly
Like,
there's
you're not the main character.
exactly there's so much stuff where like it just kind of feels it's narcissism hidden in what people think is like an admirable way to live about your life. And it's just, yeah, it's sad. And so when people, I get really upset when people you know, say like, oh, speak English, you're in America. Like, it's just like I hate people being stripped of their freedom to, you know, to be themselves. But yeah, I tell you, Mary, every stream there's always a moment where I peak and that mask that I wear to be a presentable social media personality, it just falls straight the fuck off, Mary.
I love it. That's what's gonna make it. Make this compelling.
Yeah. But I hope everyone who's watching is having a good time. We're having a fun time drawing Pokemon. Hanny 1PR says, yo, you guys got nice style. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, Zora Beats says, that silhouette looks like a beakless Farfetch'd, which I could totally see.
Yeah, I see that too. Like, I definitely see the far-fetched of it all.
Oh, Gabe, are you trying along your own thing, or also trying some of these silhouettes out?
Yeah, Gabe, show us your stuff.
Yeah, please. It's been nice. Every so often, the folks in the chat will draw along with us to the theme.
Huge! I dig it. Yeah. Audience participation.
Oh, excellent.
Also...
Thank you, Henny. That's awesome. Yeah, of course, of course. I think one thing I never expected with the Twitch stream was that, like, you know, drawing and talking can be hard, but also drawing and talking and interacting with the chat is also like a skill. But
absolutely, I'm acknowledging that right now, where I'm like, I keep saying I'm definitely umming and ahhing a lot more than I like to.
Yes, I do the exact same thing, because it just, when you're thinking off the cuff and you really have to stop and think, like, you know, what you're saying, because like not like in a self-censorship way, but more in like I'm trying to make this conversation as impactful for both of us and also for like the folks listening, because yeah, some folks are listening and drawing at the same time. And you know, I grew up with radio in my life. Like straight into middle school, my alarm radio was how I learned new music. It's how I listened to Love Line and learned about like sex. It was all through. Do you remember Love Line?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, like, yeah, to be, you know, folks like to listen in because, yeah, you're hanging out with somebody, you're listening to, you know, a nice conversation. You hope. Hopefully my fiery rants don't feel too off-putting.
You're not ranting about some, like, honestly, you're 100% on. The target was hit.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm like really happy with this little one that I just drew.
Oh, that's so cute.
He's like a little radish dog.
He looks like he's wearing one of those little like heat pads for the head.
Oh, yes, I totally see that. I wonder what he would have. Okay, I'm gonna like try and figure out what he would evolve into.
I think I'm mostly working on like plant types I think that's what I'm gravitating towards today.
Plant types are fun to draw because
Yeah.
you get the monster element of it, but you also can draw flower.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do a cherry colored Pokemon.
Oh, that's cute. That's so cute. Little woodland imp.
I feel like there's a lot of little woodland imp Pokemon.
Definitely. It's like a whole class of Pokemon in itself.
What's your favorite Pokemon, Mary?
Oof. Well, the starter that I picked for the very first game was definitely Bulbasaur. So I feel like Venusaur and that whole lineage I just have a soft spot for. But I also really like... Well, I played this game called Pokemon Sleep, and I feel like the Pokemon I use the most in that is Gardevoir.
What is that? I've heard about Pokemon Sleep.
Gardevoir, oh man, how do I draw her from her? She's got like...
Mary, I've been on the internet. I know exactly what Gardevoir looks like.
Okay, good.
But what is Pokemon Sleep?
Oh, Pokemon Sleep is a sleep app game, so you can track your sleeping.
Oh.
And then every day, like, you're like, the premise of it is that you have this Snorlax that you're like trying to feed or something. And Snorlax has this sleep power that like attracts other Pokemon to it. And you are trying to attract, by sleeping, you're trying to up Snorlax's strength so more Pokemon appear by his
that's
side.
so
And then
funny.
You can those Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
it's a whole
funny.
thing.
So you pick Gardevoir as do you fight Pokemon in this app or?
No, all you do is raise them. All you do is feed
cute.
food, and like your Pokemon will collect berries for you and like ingredients for the food pot. It's literally just a feed Snorlax game.
Cute. Snorlax has got to eat.
Oh, look at that little throb.
Do you have a name for yours?
Let me see. I'm gonna like mix together dog and carrot.
Does anyone in chat have a name for this little strawberry Pokemon? I think this is Grass Fairy.
Grass Fairy. I think for some reason the first thing that comes to mind is Seedling.
Seedling's good. Bariana's good. Let me spell it like maybe with one R. Berry. Or the Y? Berry. One R. Berry. One N. Bariana. Very nice. What would you call yours, Mary?
I want to do something with like rutabaga.
What about Ruda or Ruda Bay?
Maybe it could be like Ruda Beggar because dogs.
Ah, that's such a good one. All right, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Mary.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I was thinking with this shape.
Oh man, this reminds me of the game we used to play in kindergarten where someone would scribble and then you had to make.
Oh, that's a fun. Yeah.
You had to make something out of it.
I mean, it's a great. I mean, even as like adult artists, that is a great exercise. I've seen a lot of folks do like ink blots or like watercolor blots, and then they ink around it to create something, just to come faces or characters.
Totally.
So I definitely agree with Zorabits that it is very elephanty. And
it is super.
One thing that like I also want to think about is, so there's this one piece of advice from my mentor from design school. His name was Julio Martinez, and he was an artist designer. So I really appreciated his perspective, because he wasn't trying to aim for clean minimalism. He pushed us to develop a unique art style, to bring in multimedia, to bring in physical paints and objects and stuff to round out our design. But one of the things that he would always say was, if an idea was expected, and what that would mean is like the idea you came up with, is it just easily expected? Is it the thing people think was going to happen? And essentially he was pushing us to go for the unexpected. Essentially like try harder, try one more lateral move to the left to see where you can take an idea. And so if Zorabits is already calling elephant, I'm going to challenge us to not do any elephant related
No elephant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like 5, or no, not 5. There's like 3 elephant Pokemon, I think, now, right?
There's gotta be, right?
Yeah. How good is your knowledge of any of the new Pokemon?
Oof, very bad, honestly. I mean, obviously I played the most recent game, but I don't remember them that well.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what starter I picked.
Yeah. I only played 3rd generation, whichever one had Piplup, because that was my favorite. Piplup was a little penguin.
I know, Piplup was so cute.
Yeah, I like that generation a lot. There's like a gothic balloon called like Drifloon, which I really like.
Yeah, Drifloon is also in Pokemon Sleep, notably.
Cute. Mary, were you ever goth?
I was friends with like the only goth girl in our school, but I was not goth myself.
Nice.
How about you?
I wanted to be, but I could only be as goth as like a Catholic family could let you be, and which often involved just like wearing like the only black jacket I had, which is just like a regular zip up like windbreaker. There's an embarrassing photo of me with the first time I tried growing my hair long, and I just skull shirts and like Converse drawn up, and all my artwork was like Jonah Vasquez inspired. And
oh my god, who among us?
Oh yeah, totally. It's necessary. It's art 101.
Right of passage.
But I also I had a cousin who was a really big metalhead, and he introduced me to this German goth rock band called Lacrimosa, and I was just like, that was my entry point. I never excuse me, I never really dove more into like goth culture, but I just knew that there was something about it that like it's just kind of like when you grow up in a religious family, like you just kind of find you look for an outlet somewhere else.
Totally. And gothic, like goth is so aesthetically driven, right? And I think it's a natural thing for an artist to be drawn towards because it's so visual.
Yes, very true. Yeah, there was I remember, did you ever watch a cartoon called The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
I did not.
So it was a fun cartoon by Maxwell Adams is the name of the creator. But he'd sometimes bring on like there'd be musical numbers from, I don't know if they were ever friends, but he was a recurring musician on the show called Voltaire, and he was this goth kind of humorous musician. And I was obsessed, and he just like makes songs about like ghouls and ghosts, and I don't know. I just don't know what drives me besides like trying to be anti-Catholic or trying to be counter culture with my family, but like, yeah, it just, I don't know, the darkness calls you, you know?
I totally get that. Yeah, I was raised Catholic too.
Yeah.
What was your confirmation name?
I don't think that's how we did ours.
Really?
So you picked a name?
Yeah, we picked a name. We're supposed to, I mean, traditionally you pick a saint name and you have to do like a report on them or whatever. But our parish was pretty loosey-goosey, so I just picked the name Ella.
Is that a saint?
No.
Oh.
I just wanted a different name.
Oh.
Did you not do confirmation names?
Yeah, well, we didn't do confirmation names. I did my confirmation. And actually, my confirmation was the reason that I stopped being Catholic, which is funny because for those who are unaware, confirmation is basically in the Catholic Church, like when you're baptized, this is how I understood it. When you're baptized, you didn't have a choice in like accepting like God and Jesus.
Yeah.
And confirmation is supposed to be exactly what it sounds like. You confirm as an adult that you believe in God and you stay with the church. And for us, we had to go to I was fairly God-fearing, like to the point where it was anxiety-inducing. Like I would do the sign of the cross anytime I thought anything impure, and it almost became like a physical tic because I got embarrassed about doing the actual sign with my hands, that I started doing this thing where I twitch my eyebrows, puff my chest, and then move my left shoulder and right shoulder. And it's like that's kind of like compulsive. Like
yeah, that's like definitely not healthy at all. But
yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from, because I remember like the crazy thing about Catholicism was it was like just thinking about it can be a sin, right?
Yes, exactly. And so
yeah, so it's that easy to sin, and then you have to confess, and what the fuck?
Yes, and it's just, and it's like it's like it's like having a cop in your head 24/7.
Yeah. You're your own police.
Yes, and it got to a point where I must have already been waning by the time that it was confirmation. I think you're usually like around 16, 17, maybe around that time. And we went on a retreat. So basically we stay in these cabins, and there's like bonding exercises and this and that. And we were gonna have a mass, but before mass, you got to make sure you do your confession before you take any of like the wine and bread. And so they had a bunch of different priests doing confessions, and it was like in an open like a mess hall where they're gonna do the mass. But as we're all waiting for our turn, like kids are coming back, and when you get teenagers to express the complicated feelings and thoughts, some good, some bad, that you have as a teenager, like to confess it out, it's like traumatizing. Like it's just like you're telling a stranger, because I didn't have a close relationship to our the pastor of our parish. Like we just went to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you're letting your guts spill out, and then like all of these classmates of mine were just crying, and everyone's kind of sobbing in this dimly lit mess hall, and it's just kind of a weird vibe. And then when it was my turn, I go up to the priest, and he's sitting there, and I go, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." And he goes, "Uh-huh." And I go, "It's been a while since I've done this." And he goes, "Uh-huh." And I go, "I forget. What am I supposed to say next?" And he goes, "Uh-huh." And then I go, hello? And then he goes, oh, sorry. And then he was zoned out. He was just, he wasn't listening. He was just like, I got to get through fucking 40 kids. Like, like he was just like, yeah. And that kind of clicked it for me that there could be something more. And like, here's the thing. Like I think people like should 100% be allowed to believe in what they believe in. And then like I have such an interest in religions that like, because I love meeting people where they are. I love being like, hey, you like to talk about this thing? I'd love to talk about this thing with you. Me and my buddy Buff, like we talk about the Mormon Church. I have friends that I've talked about like Judaism with. It's like I've learned so much from all these people. And even though I don't believe in it, like I believe in their belief in it. And
yeah, I was honestly just thinking about this today. I've always felt like all religions, like the good parts of them, are probably like kind of just channeling towards the same entity, whatever that may be. And like, yeah, I like, it's just the bad parts of. I mean, every religion has bad parts, because it also used as a way to control people, which is not good.
I feel like I agree with you. I feel like there is a common good end that has been very much taken advantage of by governments and societies and people trying to hold power over others, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, which is just like, you know, I don't think that has anything to do with God. I think that has everything to do with us being like hierarchical apes, you know?
Yeah. We just gotta hope for that big ape in the sky, you know?
I know. Where are you, big ape?
I mean, it kind of makes sense the way the world's going, that it's just an upset like ape just like thrashing about, like throwing a barrel around in his enclosure, like.
Yeah, Donkey Kong is our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
drawing this weird snake horse thing.
Oh, I love it. He extends his head out of his little cave.
Yes, he's his mobile cave that has mammal legs for some reason.
Oh, I love it.
Yours looks like a D&D monster you would encounter.
I was thinking first of like a beholder, and then thought like yeah, and then thought like, oh, these look rather tentacly. Do you still practice, or did you have a similar like kind of falling off point?
I don't know. It's just like, you know, when you're in mass and like they do the whole like we believe thing. Like every time they would like bring up like the sanctity of the unborn and stuff. Like if they would stop doing that, maybe I would go back. You know, because I mean I do like, I miss like some of
the community.
Yeah. But I mean, I've found community elsewhere. I know at some point in my life I'll probably have like a need for some spiritual meaning, but right now my philosophy of like the world is entirely random, and you know, just try and be thankful for like the good breaks that you get has been serving me pretty well.
Yeah. You ever read Douglas Adams?
Yeah, I read it a long time ago though. That's another one of those books where it's been so long, I don't know if I could tell you much about it.
I love those books to death because Douglas Adams was such a keen observer of the human condition, and I wholeheartedly I resonate with what you just said, because it's this idea of probability is such a fucking insane thing, and just the fact that like we're on this earth is just a beautiful thing of probability. One of the things I wrote in my vows to Catherine was that like it would have been so easy to miss each other in the grand sea of infinity of all the possible combinations. That's what makes like our union so special. And
absolutely.
And that's what I love the most about life, is that like it is just an absolute miracle of probability anything has happened like this.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, I'm very lucky to be like, have been born into, you know, a body where I'm fed most of the time.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to worry about things like
Yep.
that. And
Totally.
definitely have to, it's the old Spider-Man adage. With great power comes great responsibility.
Totally.
Or to whom, I guess from the Bible, it's to whom much is given, much is required.
Oh, that's good.
I think.
That's good.
I think about that all the time. You know.
Yeah, they're in the same way that like. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was going off topic. What were you saying?
I was just gonna finish the thought in the same way that like like at some point like we kind of crave a sense of community or something to attach to. Like I find myself like despite like still being like I don't even consider myself agnostic. I think atheism is probably the thing that suits me the best. But I think just putting the Bible back on like my reading list is just I think it's just important because it is the basis for a lot of people's moral compass. That from I think when you're writing a story, you can pull something very visceral out of that.
For sure. And like, yeah, I mean, the Bible is like old stories that have been around for like 1,000 years, And like, that's what humans are. We're like storytelling creatures. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's important to preserve those stories.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Gilgamesh, etc.
Yes, 100%. I have those. I have a lot of. I like not abridged. I like annotated readings of old literature because it does help with the consumption of it. I did a annotated audiobook of Macbeth, and I finally fucking understand what was going on.
Nice.
It's very helpful. What are you gonna name your snake horse? Snores.
Snores. I mean, that's not a bad option. It's also got this rock. So maybe you should do something with cave.
Cavern.
I'm gonna call him Spelunkin.
Oh, that's such a good. It has the nice S sound for the snake.
Yeah.
And then the Lunkin feels like it feels very horse-like.
Yeah. There's Spelunkin.
That's great. I just went with Tentachill. I feel like it's an offshoot.
That's awesome. I feel like that is definitely an ice poison Pokemon.
That's good. That's good. All right. Do you still have 2 more in you think, Mary?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Our next Pokemon, folks. Let's do... And it's this thing.
Okay, I see a few different things in
I see a bird right away, which I
know,
I hate that I thought that first because now I'm like, all right, that's expected.
Right now I'm like, I can't bird.
You should bird. Don't let me hold you back. I think we already did our exercise in.
I see something else that I want to do.
Ooh,
actually. So.
Okay.
Yeah. This is such a good exercise.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to do a bird either. I think I see something else too. Did you ever get into Digimon?
Oh my god, yes I did. I love Digimon.
It's such a I don't think there's no way to compare it to Pokemon. It's just such a psychosis. It's just
it's got a depth to it that Pokemon just doesn't, Also, like, I saw something today online where it's like, oh, Pokemon evolution is like, you go from a cat to a panther to a lion But with Digimon, you go from a cat to a dinosaur to like
A gun.
computer.
Like, just a gun.
A gun, totally.
Yeah, it's just like there's so much creative freedom in that, and in the end, like it's all to sell toys and trading cards. I get it, but it's almost like it's a hilarious test of your writing ability to be given these random like things and try to put together a coherent story for it.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, because they were just given like, oh, we have this toy that we want to promote. How do you want to write a story about this? Like a 26 episode long story.
Yeah, it's sad, but that's also a reflection of like just kind of the modern day like comics, American comics pipeline, where it's like, can you attach this to a property? Can you sell toys? Can you sell merch? Can you sell a movie? It hasn't changed. We're still trying to sell art for something else.
It's kind of worse now because now it's like, oh, it has to be a pre-existing IP.
Yes.
So actually, we're not making new ideas at all.
Yeah, it's sad. I had this conversation with friends in France because it really feels like France has more of an infrastructure for comics and for supporting the arts that you can find more niche things. Same thing. We've had this conversation about like Japanese manga
Right. Yeah.
And essentially,
again.
Yeah, it's just like because the infrastructure is there, you really find so many more interesting and unique things. And I don't know, like I've been told by my editor, I think even Brian from Comics Experience feels in the way that like you can still find great comics in the United States, and I do believe it, but I just don't think they make it easy.
Oh, they don't make it easy at all. Like the best, some of the best comics being made are just like people are just dying to put them out. Literally like straining their bodies.
Yeah.
Because how else do you find the time to like do this? And the only thing that's getting funded is like, I don't know, like some warmed up like superhero. I mean, whatever. I don't want to be like too much of a hater. Also, I need to be like realistic. I'm just like, I didn't grow up with superhero comics, so there's part of me that's just like, will I really ever understand this? From,
I mean,
the person who grew up with Marvel perspective.
There's also going to be the reality that we're probably going to be offered the potential to do a story for one of these companies, and it's just like,
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah,
depending upon depending on the freedom I would get on it,
Yeah, I wouldn't either, because it's like it is a notch on your belt to be able to work on these projects, and then it gives you the sway to be able to work on things that you really do want to. I say this as a complete novice in this field, that like that's how the things work out. But it's just like, yeah, like it's you try not to close those opportunities when they get presented.
Yeah, because like absolutely, like so much of comics is like freelance work, and so much of it is just like, knowing this person, like, etc. Make sure you don't talk too much shit on social media, etc. I mean, yeah, I always, like, anytime I'm trying to post something on Blue Sky, I'm like, wait a second, slow down, Mary. Like, is this something in the group chat,
Yeah. I hope that like no, I think you're right. It's a measured response or measured honesty in favor of like, publishers really do check that stuff out, and
they do,
and
well then, they also like, I'm like, so much of publishing, sadly, and like I don't blame them to some extent, because publishing is not like a high, there's not a lot of there's just not a lot of money in books. Like the model used to be, and it still kind of is, that like a list of books was funded by like last season's bestseller, you know? So you're praying that you're gonna get one huge hit.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that's that's essentially the model of that business, is like they throw money until something sticks on the wall.
Yeah, and when I was working at PRH back when 50 Shades of Grey came out, we got everybody in the company, everybody, like, you know, like from the editorial staff to the custodial staff, everyone got a $5,000 bonus for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, which I bought a new bike with that, and it was sick. But yeah, I feel like publishing is like just thirsty for another 50 Shades of Grey.
And that could be you, Mary. Dust off that old Pallet Town fanfic.
Oh my god. Yeah, I just had it in me all along. Well, because, like, you know, if you want somebody to pick up a book, and at this point, I don't think most of America are, like, readers, you know? So there has to be, like, a huge buzz behind it to motivate people to go out and get it.
Yeah, totally. Oprah's got to pick it for the next book.
I mean, Oprah's got her thing going on. I'm liking doing these from like different angles to like demonstrate how they move.
Oh, I love that already. Zorabit says, "Well, Josue adding fishnets to their new creation. We see you. We see you." I don't know. It looks sassy to me.
I love this one, Josue. This one is good. You just keep like knocking it out of the park.
Gabe says the decline of reading depresses the hell out of me. Yeah, this also coming from somebody who isn't the most avid reader. I see it as an unfortunate anti-intellectual stance. A lot of folks are taking. A lot of manosphere folks. A lot of alt-right folks. The Charlie Crooks of the world, basically saying that like college isn't good for you. A lot of folks leading the
it's not college that's the problem, it's paying for it.
Yes.
It's the affordability therein.
But
like, those two things shouldn't be confused.
But the argument that they're making is that college is only showing leftist progressive viewpoints and not conservative ones, which is bullshit.
Well, ones are basically. Well, also that's not true.
Yes.
There's tons of like Ayn Rand fans in college.
Yes, exactly. And so like I think what I see this here as like, here's the thing, like college is stupid expensive. Like it's a privilege to be able to go through it. The one thing that people, I don't know, maybe they do recognize or don't recognize, but like going to a higher place of education isn't just about the degree that you get out of it. It's also it's about the people you meet, because in the same way that high school is an amalgamation of all the other middle schools or elementary schools in the district, and now you get to meet everyone in the whole town or the Tri-City, college is that for the whole fucking like a country or even planet. You have people coming from other countries. And you get to meet people of different experiences. And in the same way that like when I went to school in Mexico, I got to see how a lot of my other classmates live. A lot of them lived in poverty. They lived in like shanty houses. Like you understand that these people exist, and you also understand why Mexico has a lot of social programs, because a lot of folks do live out in very impoverished, underdeveloped areas. And when you don't, when you live your life with like honestly, I was gonna say with the silver spoon in your mouth, but I feel like even people who either grew up working class almost just don't want to see anybody else win because they had it bad. Like these people basically just don't see it any other way. And it's so I call it, and this sounds very like wishful thinking or just like hippy dippy thinking, but like I really do think people have an extreme lack of imagination. Like in a world where we never thought cars or planes would ever exist, you can't imagine a better world. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does feel like a lack of imagination, and I don't know where it's coming from. I mean, probably the erosion of quality public education.
Yeah. I mean, the misunderstanding of like basically the shit that the government's doing with removing like the word, even the word women from like science papers, or removing queer leaders from like historical sites. It's really in an effort to like wipe away history, so that when these idiots come out saying like, well, immigrants never did anything here, like it's so that there's nothing to prove them wrong. And
yeah,
it's just a complete gross misunderstanding of how the country was built when they get on about like immigrants didn't do anything. And it's yeah, I again, like, this is another rant. I'm just gonna draw my drag queen Pokemon. Actually, that's a great.
I love your drag.
Did you see Sorabit's name for this one? Chaperone.
Yeah, chaperone. I love it. I love the little cutie mark that you've given it, like it's a My Little Pony.
Chaperone's a much better name than the one I was gonna give it, which was just gonna be Roadhouse for some reason.
Roadhouse. Now I feel like looking at your Pokemon, I have to give my Pokemon like a beauty mark. There she goes.
I love that. Yeah, you gave her like the lips too. That's excellent. I have no idea what kind of Pokemon Chaperone is supposed to be.
I feel like this is a just dark Pokemon.
Like dark fairy or dark ghost?
No, just dark.
Dark, okay.
Or maybe dark ghost. I could see dark ghost.
Like, this is like a sexy poltergeist. This is the...
Oh, you think Fairy Kiss. Yeah, maybe Dark Fairy is better.
This is the amalgamation of lustful spirit in the Pokemon world. This is the ghost that comes out of writing too much Pokemon fanfic.
Yes.
Chaperone.
God. I'm gonna call her
Mollusket. That's a cute one. Ah, that's a good one, Mary.
I'm glad neither of us did Falcon Head. That's what this still looks like to me.
It looks like a parrot, beak, which would have been the expected thing that I would have done. We could have done like an airplane Pokemon.
Did you ever watch... Huh?
It could also look like an airplane Pokemon. But what were you gonna say?
Yes. Did you ever watch that Disney Three Amigos where it was Donald Duck?
Yes. Catherine told me about it, but I hadn't seen it myself.
Yeah, I watched it as a kid, and it was like on a VHS that we used to have, but I just love the idea of like three best friends. Like 3 bros, and they all come from different cultures, but they're all able to like hang out together.
Do you know why Disney made that film?
Was it because he wanted to launder money in like Argentina or something?
It was a psyop in order to create better national alliances with Mexico and Latin America.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think in like brother's keeper kind of way. I think in a like if we need you in a war, like we want you to make sure you have our back.
We're gonna take you in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all these old Disney cartoons were just psyops. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that. I love that.
Hold on, I'm gonna do one more. Just you gotta do a beauty mark right here. There we go.
Yes. Yeah. I love it.
All right, we got 10 minutes. Mary, do you want just to do a quick rushed one?
I'm getting a little tired.
Okay.
So I might have to call.
Let's wrap it. Mary, thank you so much for hanging out, for chatting.
Thank you. This was a blast.
You are an absolute delight, Mary, and
You are the best. Thank you for having me.
of course.
I'm honored to be the last guest of the season. And
Yeah.
I hope you have an amazing hiatus.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be for folks still listening. We're gonna put a hiatus on the show for about 2 months while I work on. I'm doing a book cover for Vince for his next Crime Guys collection.
Oh hell
Yes.
That's amazing.
We're doing Comic-Con this weekend. Mary's also going to be there doing quite a few events. And then working on a few other projects. And hopefully coming back with a new segment that I think is going to be really fun. So, Mary, thank you so much. Share your work with me on the Discord so I can do a master post. And everybody, thank you so much for sticking around. Holy crap.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you, potentially maybe this start of September. Let's see how quickly I finish my tasks. All right, y'all.